Start recording. We're recording. All right, guys. So welcome to our 9th meeting for this semester. There's a lot of stuff to go over, including next slide, Alex. Including what NASA went over in the Q&A. They made a lot of good points and a lot of information was given. Alex will be going over this shortly after I go through the agenda. After that, we'll be talking about the GoFundMe again because it went up $10 from last week, which is good, but could be better. Then lastly, sub-team updates so everybody knows what's going on, and then closing statements. Just a couple reminders for you guys. All right.
Let's go through the presentation that NASA gave us. And Nick, Andre, if I'm missing anything, feel free to just unmute and blurt out whatever I miss, please.
All right.
All right. Okay, introductions. Let's important updates. So they're switching over to Microsoft Teams now. So we're no longer using Adobe Connect from 2002. It's great for everybody. Love it. These are all the teams that are participating in the competition.
These are all the losers because we're gonna beat all of them.
Yeah, there's some heavy hitters in here. These are the guys we got to watch out for. Vanderbilt's winning like nothing.
Every year left and right.
UC Davis is competing.
Can also get it. UCLA can also get it. And UC can also get it. Everyone can catch these hands. These hands are rated E for everyone.
This is the press release. They wanted us to start like posting this in our social media. There's also a new hype video. I just want to show you guys a small clip from here that was from our payload from last year.
Yeah.
That's
our payload from last year.
That's our payload from last year. New hype video. Go check it out.
Yeah, we'll post it. The link.
They want us to take photos and send all the sexy photos we can. So everybody is going to get a media release to sign very soon. This just says that NASA can use the pictures of you in their website or in any advertising, and you will not get paid for any of it because we are eternal slaves.
And then also, if there's a video, no curse words because they will be posted and used for students.
Yes.
Yeah. So make sure. We had a lot of students last year almost ruined some videos. We were live streaming our launch, and when the launch went off, one of our students blurted out, "Fuck yeah," loud as hell. So we had to go in and edit that. So please.
We have to submit our social media handle to NASA by October 21st. They're collecting all of our accounts for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, YouTube, all of our stuff. We got to send that over to them. The fly sheet. This year, they're weighing the fly sheet a lot heavier. So this has to be up to date at all times. Anytime we turn in any documents to NASA, this must be up to date. And they're going to be sending this to us very soon. So once we have like the official one, we'll go over it together. STEM engagement. They're holding a STEM engagement web session, October 15. I don't know. We should, maybe Ashley or Angela, one of you guys, if you guys can make it, that would be great.
It's Central Time, which means 8 a.m. our time. Please.
Either 8 a.m. or 12 or noon.
Or noon or noon. So just please. We had an issue with our time zones. We won't talk about it.
We're not talking about that. There's a new scoring sheet also that they will send to us, and we will go over once we have that in our possession, so we can see how everything's weighted, how everything's scored. This is mainly for systems and Nathan and I. It's for naming documents that we send to them. Here are some deadlines. These are like the same deadlines that are in the handbook, but they're just like rewritten here.
Yeah.
Late submissions. This is not for us. We will not be turning anything in late.
This is for presentations.
Yeah, this is to sign up for presentations. Okay. More deadlines, of course. This is for the design division. If for some reason we're not able to build the rocket, we can submit all of our theoretical work into the design competition.
By January.
But this is like absolute worst case scenario. We can't do anything,
Yeah,
but there's very minimal chance that this will happen.
yeah, very minimal.
There's optional lecture sessions. If anybody from systems or if anybody in general can make it, that would be great. It is optional though, we don't have to go. We've been pretty good in the past with this, but we'll see how it goes. This is for launch week in Huntsville, Alabama.
They hyped it up a lot.
They really did hype it up. We at-home launch is an option for teams that are unavailable to travel, but we really want to travel, so please share the GoFundMe.
Please.
There are awards that will be given out in Huntsville, but not the main awards. These are just like the social media awards and all the awards that don't depend on a final flight. There's also a new 3D printing award this year, so let's make sure all of our 3D printing is very sexy.
That goes to Payload and PLI, all the sexy CAD, all the sexy 3D printing, and same for the air brakes structures team.
Anybody who's 3D printing anything. This is for at-home launch. They really stress that if we're doing an at-home launch, that we launch as close to April 5th as possible, because like things always go wrong. So they're like, please try to launch as early as possible. Duplicate work, they really stress this copying and pasting from previous documents. Like they're like, we read all of these things thoroughly, so it triggers them very quickly when they know that they've read something before. So, and then they said that there are this, like, you can get disqualified from if they do catch you plagiarizing. So please, let's not do that.
I would like to just point out that they were referencing to previous project years. We're allowed to reuse stuff from like our previous documents. So if you wanted to, you could take some stuff from the proposal, but you know.
Yeah, but you can't take stuff from previous project years. So you can, you have all have access to last year's documentation. However, do not copy paste anything from there.
Yes. This is a new gateway system to register teams for the competition. So this is a new system. They've never done this before. The way, yeah. So the way it works is that we're gonna submit a roster to NASA, and then Nathan will get a form that he will complete. He's gonna register our team underneath this gateway program, and he's gonna put all of you down individually. Each of you will get an email to make a personal profile, and that's how NASA is going to know everybody on the team and things like that. This is how to send them the team roster. It's not for you guys. Again, this is summarizes just what I said basically. Okay, again, Boomy, since you are under 18 and above 16, you're going to have all day sign for you.
Yeah, you need your dad to sign. Wow.
Team leads, okay. Purpose of a PDR, they just talked about a bunch of this stuff. Preliminary stuff, nothing really in depth. We can still make changes in this up to CDR. Once we submit CDR, we should really not be making any changes to our design.
Yeah.
They were just talking about when we present to them how to act professional, dress professional, and
grammar mistakes. Make sure
we don't spell anything incorrectly. The fly sheet again, they stressed it over here. It scored higher.
They also mentioned that the correct confirmation. If you don't get a confirmation from them, to follow that up, because we were one of the only schools that had to follow them up with an email asking what happened. So they stressed that.
Yep. Here are some things they don't want us to talk about in PDR.
Oh, the presentation time.
Yeah, during the presentation, because the time did get cut down to 30 minutes this year. Instead, it was 45 last year. So, but we should still have these in the slides, but not talk about them as much as we're talking about all of these things here. Mostly for PDR, they want to see our design. Altitude. Okay, this is a graph from Stratologger. This is what it looks like. This is what we're going to turn in for the altitude competition, and we are going to have to lock in an altitude at PDR. So whatever altitude we pick, we got to stick with that. So
Yeah.
let's make sure we can hit it.
Yes, guys. So please try to make things lighter, not heavier.
Yeah, please really think about how much your system weighs. This is how we're getting scored for the altitude competition. Everything really depends on your delta, how far you are from your the altitude that you locked in, and these are the multipliers that will be deducted. You can see how it happens here. Pretty simple. Whoever has the lowest delta wins, basically. Sure you guys saw this in the Discord. This is the launch field in Alabama, and the terrain is rough, very rough.
So no rovers for sure for the payload.
Yeah, just think about this if your system is going to be exposed to the environment like this.
This is mainly just
PLI.
payload and PLI.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
It made their life harder, but yeah.
So the deputy director of NASA is going to be giving a talk about Artemis 1 and the missions to follow on October 25th to all NASA student launch participants. And each and every single one of you is invited. October 25th, 5 p.m. So really 3 p.m. It's optional. You don't have to go, but they were saying that he's really excited to talk to us. These are some NASA handles, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so a lot of information, guys, that we got.
Yeah.
A lot of questions were answered. Payload and PLI have already started implementing and those answers to their designs. Mainly, there was not a lot of questions for any other team. Avionics pretty much great, on track. Parachute, same thing. Structures and analysis also on track. The only thing that changed for them is that the subscale qualifications have changed slightly. They stress that quite a bit, and also the fact that our altitude has to be locked in by PDR. So something to keep in mind. Please keep in mind accurate weights so we can have a very accurate.
Any questions about this presentation though, before we go back to our stuff?
Crickets.
Nope. All right.
Okay, sweet. So now we're gonna talk about the GoFundMe. GoFundMe is up, guys. $210 out of 8K. It's an okay start, but I feel like we could do much better. Please tell everybody. The GoFundMe is just to help us travel. We can still travel even if we do not meet the GoFundMe cost, the goal. The only difference is everyone that's traveling, the money will be coming out of pocket, and it's not that cheap. So please spread it out. That's another reminder. Moving on, we got Payload. And have Nick talk about it.
Alrighty, yeah, so payload system, it's moving along nicely. We're still in alternative component selection, but we've selected most, if not all of them. Payload CAD, it's in progress. We're doing test prints for the arms. You can see off to the right, that's one of the test prints out of PLA that Luke made. Coming up, we're going to be testing the arm prints. So we'll see if they can, how much they'll flex if we were to simulate the motors at full power on them, and also begin writing.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice.
Good. Sounds
Good
good.
to see you guys are putting in work. Nice to see.
Good to see. Moving on to Andre, PLI.
Yeah, so for PLI, still moving along smoothly with the individual PDR sections being worked on. So yeah, like was talked about in the slides, just kind of some updates on the PLI requirements. So the actual like release mechanism for the PLI system and the payload itself both actually have to be remote controlled mechanisms, which is specified at the Q&A. So we've already started researching like the radio transmitters and receivers we could put in the system to do that. And then still continuing the work with the wiring schematic. Once those are done, we can actually start the preliminary testing of the components.
Sick. Testing. We're gonna test,
Testing.
do some more testing, and then
Yeah,
do
probably more after that too.
on. We got structures. I believe Rogelio will be talking about it today.
Yeah, I'll be presenting for structures. So you can see the pretty CAD pictures we have on the side. So that's some stuff we've been working on. We have different fin configurations, where we have like the slots that you see on the top right, and then on the bottom right you see the hole configuration. So those are two that we're having in mind. We also started doing CADing of the actual mount for that system, the leftmost picture, so you can see it there, and then just kind of looking into where we're going to place the air brake itself. So that's just still in the works. And then in the coming weeks, we're going to do some more CADing, of course, some stress analysis, sourcing of materials, right? We're going to find the cheapest and the lightest materials possible, some coding and manufacturing as well.
Sweet. Moving on, we got
Okay.
analysis with Boomy. He's actually sitting right next to me, so I'll just let him take over.
Yeah, we have our current updated rock model shown here on the right. It was 9.5 feet in length. Now it's increased to 10 to accommodate some spacing, and especially for the air brakes that you see here, that's highlighted in the red box. That space we kind of estimated about 4.5 inches for those air brakes. If structures can update me on like how tall you guys predict for that section, that'd be great. The current wet mass has gone heavier, actually. Had to redo those weights, and it's now almost 49 pounds. The good thing is we meet our stability margin at 2.0 exactly. Only drawback is we've now decreased our apogee to 4750. Has to be expected with the weight increase, but that's updated. The CP hand calcs is shown here on the bottom right. CP hand calcs have been are really accurate with our simulation CP estimation, so that's great. After that, we will look to have our current. That's what we've done so far, and after that, we would like to have our current fin selection to be gone through some fin analysis because these are the ones that help to meet our stability margin. But we would like to have those be done, and from there, we would like to have do some more analysis, but that need to be done for PDR writing. But the last final note, we would like to have more weights being updated because things are constantly changing, and weight is a big design driver for this launch vehicle. So I please urge you guys to update me with weights as soon as possible. And that'll be all.
Yeah, guys, we need updated weights not only for the analysis team for our apogee calculations, but also for our parachutes team because it directly affects their calculations and the kinetic energy and descent time. So that's important. As Boomy mentioned, our hand calcs are looking sexy, and we finally meet our stability margin of 2.0. So that's great. Moving on, I believe we have Avionics with John.
Hello, everybody. So yeah, for avionics, we finished the electrical schematics. In the bottom left, it's just the LEDs are representing the igniters, and it's pretty much just a simple block diagram is what they want to see. We have a battery and then we have a switch that we can arm before we launch the rocket on the pad itself. And we updated the CAD a little bit, and I just picked up the telemetrum today. So I'm going to measure the antenna and figure out how long the avionics bay is going to be. And we're going to update that again. And then, so we're trying to figure out the orientation situation right now still. We're going to meet later today and figure out how we're going to get it in the rocket the same way every single time. And then for the PDR, we're just going to continue some writing, and just I wanted to emphasize that we're going to prove that redundancy exists. NASA loves that word redundancy, so we got to make sure we hit that mark. And now I'll be passing it to parachutes.
John, I just want to say one thing. I know this CAD was like preliminary, but we should move this telemetrum down here if it's possible, because I believe the antenna is like 7 inches long and the board is like almost 3 inches long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just gave John the avionics briefing last year and all of our avionics tools, so he can have accurate dimensions for all of that now. So
We also plan to get rid of some of that hardware on the bottom. You could see it better in the bottom right pick. We want to get rid of some of those hex bolts because they are pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make the sled flush with the bottom if possible.
Okay. Sweet.
So that will eliminate some of the hardware at least for now.
Sounds
and
good.
then we'll move that telemetrum down, and I just need to get the exact measurements real quick still.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to mention, John brought up a very good point, redundancy. NASA loves redundancy. Make sure your systems are redundant. This not only goes for payload, but also for PLI. They love redundancy in electrical systems. And this also goes for the air brakes as well.
And parachutes.
Well, the parachutes redundancy is normally built into the avionics redundancy with the double charge wells.
Yeah.
But yeah, they love redundancy. They want to, they emphasize that. It's a key question they ask.
Sounds good.
On to parachutes. Take it away, Ashley.
Yeah, so for parachutes, we're just continuing our PDR writing, and that's going to go on throughout the week. And then we've been mostly rerunning our MATLAB code to get our kinetic energy and landing time values. And then we're getting our parachute size updates. All of our values are changing just because we rely so heavily on weights, and everyone's kind of getting their final weights, and they're changing. So in turn, ours changes because parachutes really depends on everyone else's weights. And we've been trying MATLAB with the apogee that Boomi gave us from 49 to 52,000 feet. We found that our landing time is almost 90 seconds when it's higher than 5,100 feet. But now we see that we have an updated apogee of around 47,000, which should be good for our landing time. It should give us a bigger margin so that we don't pass it. And then I just want to reiterate to please send us your updated weights because parachutes really depends on that.
Yep. And I just want to reiterate, it wasn't 47,000, 4,700.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Oh, good. It's okay. And then last but not least, we got systems. Anthony, take it away.
So we're just gonna be continuing our PDR tests, developing more derived requirements, doing the failure modes and effects analysis. Continue to gather changes made since the proposal. I know PLI had that remote control change instead of using their sensors and altimeters. Updating the bill of materials and gathering a material acquisition list. And then we're going to also begin developing testing procedures for each sub-team. So I know air brakes, we're thinking of using wind tunnel, structures lab for, testing airframe and whatnot, fins and all that. And then I know vacuum chamber was for avionics testing. So we got to develop procedures for those. And then also adding a PLAR section to the Gantt chart.
And then now we have outreach with Angela.
All right, so I'm just gonna say it again. Please spread the Instagram account. The Instagram account, I do believe, has a GoFundMe link as well. So spreading that also spreads the GoFundMe link. And if you have anything cool that you guys want to post on the Instagram page, please put it in the Instagram cool stuff tab in Discord. Anything at all, as well as accompany it with a caption that you would like to use. We really need to start posting more stuff and be a little bit more active on there. And then I will be sending a survey soon to everybody asking very simple questions like, what have you gained from being on NSL and stuff, just so we can add some information to the presentation that we will be giving the community colleges and high schools. And also just spread the word about the outreach opportunities, whether it's through the email or if you know somebody. And then if you have any schools, please put it on the Excel page.
Yeah, guys, please. And we'll be contacting schools more directly in the coming weeks. And last but not least, we got our closing statements. So once again, GoFundMe. Tell everybody, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your uncle, tell your homies you don't talk to anymore. Tell everyone. 16 days for the PDR due internally, a little over 2 weeks. Just keeping that in mind. So we did get an update from SolidWorks, their 3D experience platform, so their cloud CADing software, and they added us to the list. Took them a month because I don't know why, but if the new members could please go to the team info sheet in the Google Drive and update their date of birth. That's the last thing we need so we can finally finish the process. And then last but not least, do your hours. And then there's a couple members that haven't submitted their bios yet. Submit those by today, 8 p.m. Otherwise, you're just gonna be a floating name on the Umbra website. If you have a question, if you want to know if you have submitted your bio, you can message me directly and ask. Other than that, guys, looks like everybody's doing good work. We're pretty on schedule, which is great. So keep up the good work, and I will see you guys later. Meeting's over.